The race for top four heats up whilst Manchester City takes another step closer to being crowned champions, and another nail gets hammered into the Sheffield United seemingly inevitable relegation coffin. Hey guys, Fledge here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Fledge Talks video. You know the drill by now. This is the video where I take a trending topic or a topic of interest within the world of football, bring it here, put it under the microscope, put it in the spotlight, where we analyse it, we talk about it, we discuss it, and we may even debate a little about it as well. And today's video, of course, is no exception, as today we are looking at the day's Premier League results that had implications at both ends of the table. But before we go on though, we'd like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and probably be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back to talking about today's Premier League action, beginning with arguably the shock of the day, and a big shock coming in the league as West Brom beat Chelsea by 5-2. Yep, I didn't make a mistake in that either. Chelsea genuinely did actually lose the game to second from bottom West Brom 5-2 in favour of the Baggies. The honeymoon period appears to be over. The bubble has seemingly burst, and a huge dose of reality has been delivered to this Chelsea side, as a Chelsea side who have barely conceded goals since Thomas Tuchel took charge as manager a couple of months ago. They have been absolutely well and truly a well-oiled machine, it appears, a defensive machine, but they got well and truly slapped today by Big Sam Allardyce and his relegation fighting West Brom side, thanks to braces from Matheus Pereira and Callum Robinson, and a goal from Mbai Diagna sandwiched in there as well. Truly incredible, and completely fits in with the narrative that this season has produced so far, which has been one of the most craziest and unpredictable seasons in recent memory. And for the here and now, it opens up the top four race just a little bit more. And also, on the other end of the table, it gives West Brom just a little bit more hope, a little bit more of a reason to fight, shall we say, a little bit more confidence that they can perform and can perform a great escape of sorts out of the relegation zone. Although they've still got a bit of a mountain to climb, of course, before they can seriously begin to consider themselves out of danger, as they are 7 points away from safety. So there's still a while to go for them, but it still gives them a little bit more hope going forward. But back to Chelsea and back to the top four race for the likes of West Brom, Tottenham and Liverpool and Everton. This was a great result for them before they'd even resumed their Premier League campaigns or even kicked a ball since coming back from the international period. I still think that the Blues will get top four in the end, and this is just a one-off result for them. But this is still worth watching, still worth analysing. It's still interesting to watch and consider the possible aftermath of what may come from this result. But like I say, credit goes to West Brom, credit goes to Sam Allardyce. They beat Chelsea by 5-2. And speaking of Liverpool, they were also in action tonight, and they took full advantage of Chelsea dropping points as they went on to beat Arsenal by 3-0 on the night. Diego Jota scored twice in the second half, with a Mohamed Salah goal in between them both, and the result now means that Liverpool are just 2 points away from the Blues, who are in 4th place, and can now turn their attention to Tuesday night's Champions League fixture, which is a huge one against Real Madrid, a rival in Real Madrid. For Arsenal, it was a bad night. It was a terrible night, a bad day at the office, whatever you want to call it, a night to forget for them. Their hopes of any kind of European football through qualifying for it through the league, of course, has been dealt a major blow now. And basically, they'll just want to try and move on from this. Just completely forget it out of their system, whatever. But for Liverpool, this is a big win for them. It's a big win for them. And Diego Jota, whether it's for club or for country right now, is on some serious fire. Serious fire. And he's hit form at the right time too, because the end of the season is going to be big for Liverpool one way or another, whether it's through the Champions League or whether it's through the actual league itself. It's going to be a big part of the season, and he's going to play a huge part in that, because if Liverpool want to try and salvage something from this season, find a bit of a positive in what has otherwise been an unfortunate and dark season for them, then they're going to have to really pull it out the bag in the final stretch, so to speak. And Jota's going to be a huge part of that. He's going to be given the role of trying to put some energy and trying to resurrect this Liverpool front three back into life, that because for so much this season, this forward three has simply fallen flat throughout most of this campaign. So that's going to be his role going forward. And with Leicester as well, a result we're going to get into next. They also dropped points this weekend too. So far for Liverpool this weekend, it's actually been a fantastic weekend as far as the Reds are concerned. And like I say, they can now turn their attention to Champions League action and that huge game against Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid on Tuesday night. As we said, we're coming on to Leicester now, and it's mainly Manchester City who take the headlines here because they took another step towards being Premier League champions following a 2-0 victory over Leicester this evening. It was an unlikely goal scorer in Benjamin Mendy who scored the opening goal of the game before Gabriel Jesus doubled City's lead and grabbed their second. And it was a result that saw Pep Guardiola's side go 3 points closer towards winning the Premier League title once again. And it now means that City need a maximum of 11 points from their remaining 7 games to confirm what pretty much everybody already knows. And that is that they will probably and eventually, seemingly only a matter of time, become Premier League champions, champions of England once again. Whilst for Leicester, there's no shame in losing to this Man City side. Of course not. This Man City side are a bit of a destroyer team right now. They dominated possession in this game. They had Kevin De Bruyne in midfield just running the show and pulling the strings. It was truly phenomenal in this game. But it's 3 points dropped. Overall, the bottom line is Leicester dropped 3 points here. And whilst the teams below them might be looking or have looked at this as a chance to close the gap on the Foxes, Liverpool did that earlier, as I mentioned. Brendan Rodgers' side can take some comfort in the fact that 4th place Chelsea obviously didn't take advantage, and they also lost today as well. Although I have to ask, is the lack of goal scoring form that Jamie Vardy currently finds himself in a bit of a concern for Leicester going forward? And I do say that because whilst Kelechi and Acho's also been scoring goals, Vardy is obviously their main man, their talisman, their key player. And if you remember back to last season, Leicester also fell away at the end of that campaign, and that's why they didn't manage to qualify to the Champions League within the top 4 and lost out to Manchester United on the final day. I'm just wondering if Leicester may be feeling a bit of deja vu. They've got a bit of a safety cushion for now, but going forward, that cushion, especially with the way that this league has been progressing this year, can easily be taken away. It's just food for thought. And elsewhere today, Leeds United beat Sheffield United 2-1 thanks to a goal from Jack Harrison in the first half and an own goal from Phil Jagielka in the second. And overall, this just heaped more doom and gloom and more misery onto the Blades. Leeds for now jump into the top half of the table, whilst for Sheffield United, they're gone, aren't they? They are gone. Just like Manchester City being crowned Premier League champions, it only seems a matter of time before their fate is confirmed and sealed, and that Sheffield United will be back in the Championship for next season. They are currently 14 points away from safety with 24 points left to play for. They need some sort of miracle to survive. I don't see it happening, to be honest. I don't see any kind of miracle occurring this season that will save Sheffield United from the drop zone. They seem to have already accepted their fate with some of the decisions that they're making and not even managing to keep Chris Wilder on until the end of the season. But that's maybe for a different story. But yeah, it seems Sheffield United's fate is very much sealed. It's just going through the motions right now, playing it out. And they have now gone one step closer to confirming that there will be a Championship club next season. But of course, these are just the one guy's thoughts and one man's opinions on this particular subject. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of today's games? What do you make of the key talking points to come from them? What do you make of Chelsea's shock loss to West Brom? What do you make of Liverpool taking full advantage of that loss and beating Arsenal? What do you make of Arsenal's defeat and performance? What do you make of Man City going a step closer to being Premier League champions? Leicester's defeat, and of course, Sheffield United seemingly confirming that they will be a championship club next season, although it's not mathematically confirmed yet. I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call them, down in the comment section below. I'm sure they'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Flesh. This has been another Flesh Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.